We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music. She's the boss. Radio Network.
Shoot him straight. Don't insult his intelligence. And he'll do the rest. But, like, we make the simple complex. Right. This dude needs information. Let's go!
Classy.
All right now, good morning, everyone. You're listening to Uncommon Connector, Functional Training Zone's Career Awareness Podcast. I am your host, Kia B, along with my co-host, Kenyatta, on She's the Boss Radio Network, making uncommon career connections more practical to you. Thank you for tuning into our show. Today's show topic is Global Security, the 411. We have Tenia McKall in the building with us today, and she'll be talking to us about her background in security administration. Tenia is the CEO of Pendleton Solutions, LLC, which is a woman-owned security company providing support to the U.S. government's most sensitive programs. Tenia is a global security support specialist. She's also a subject matter expert within the security field. Pendleton Solutions employs individuals who are providing support to different government agencies, which include counterintelligence, international security, physical security, personnel security, industrial security, cybersecurity, and program protection, as well as other related security services. But before we jump into our interview with Ms. Tenia, we're just going to chit-chat about some of the information that we came across this week as it pertains to inmates being afforded the opportunity to take some college education courses at a well-known HBCU in the local DMV area at Bowie State University. So if you all know, Bowie State University is one of the top HBCUs in the DMV area. And I just feel like this is a great opportunity for those who are incarcerated because this is just an example that you can still make something of yourself, even if you are dealing with these type of circumstances. And I was just really excited just to see that this opportunity is available to individuals in these circumstances. So what do you think about that, Kenyatta?
I think it's a great idea. Just because you're in that situation doesn't mean you don't want to better yourself. So if given the opportunity, I'm happy that Bowie State is leading the way in this field. I know that I was reading the article and it says that the individuals who are accepted into the program have their tuition and fees covered through federal second chance Pell Grants.
That's what's up. So the Dr. Anthony Jackson, he is the co-director of the prison education program. So and this is a quote from what he's talking about. He's like, he's walking towards the classroom and just seeing how interested the inmates are and the amount of information that they are absorbing is basically life changing for him. So it's definitely something that I think gives people a idea of what it is that they want to do out post life after prison, because a lot of times people who are incarcerated, they become repeat offenders, and they'll go out and commit additional crimes because they have maybe too much time on their hands, or they don't feel like they have any options, because nowadays things are not easy for them when it comes to transitioning from prison into the work field or into just society. That transition can be a lot for individuals, especially if they've been incarcerated for long periods of time. So, with this program that's being afforded to inmates, they will have the opportunity to earn a bachelor's degree in science, mathematics, information technology, anything that could better prepare them for transitioning from incarceration into the work and labor field. So I feel like this is very interesting.
It's needed.
Yeah, it's very much needed because there's so many obstacles that a lot of people face when it comes to transitioning, and whether it's the inability to vote, which is a very important thing, especially with this upcoming election. There's so many things that's happening and going on, and these people cannot be counted out. Like I say, some people make mistakes.
Right, exactly.
So with that being said, this is amazing.
This is definitely.
And I'm hoping that a lot of inmates and people incarcerated will really consider this and take this opportunity to their advantage, because these courses are free,
Right.
I mean, a lot of people are paying for this stuff, so you get this opportunity to attend a HBCU for free, take advantage of that, so I feel like that's good.
Great way forward. It's definitely a great way forward. They're allowed to take 4 classes or 4 courses each semester towards whichever bachelor degree, science degree, or in sociology or IT, as you mentioned before. So it gives them a foot in the door.
Mm-hmm. And the only thing about it is the incarcerated community, they will need to graduate from high school or acquire some type of GED in order to participate in the program. So the downfall to this is a lot of the population may not have that, you know what I'm saying? So this could be a disadvantage to those who do not have like a GED or a high school diploma. But for those that do have this, I feel like this is a good look for them. And Mr. Jackson, he said that the program is meant to empower those who are underserved and marginalized, which I think that this population is truly underserved. A lot of times, it's sad to say, but African Americans, we make up 13% of the United States population, but we have the highest incarceration rate. So it's pretty unfortunate that these odds are against us. So we're definitely marginalized and underserved. So this again, I hope this program is successful to those individuals who come out and are looking for career opportunities out here. And I hope that with the work that they're putting into this, actually taking the time to educate themselves, get degrees, that jobs will give them a second chance. Because a lot of jobs, they don't want to hire people if they see you have a felony. And you can get your GED, you can get your college degree, and you can do all these things to better yourself and to change your life. But it's that stigma that will constantly follow you. So I do hope that this opportunity does help them, and that employers will give them the opportunity, because this is helping them to become better so they can get out of the lifestyle that they were in, or, get away from the mistakes that they made. So this is really great, and I'm just so excited about this.
So am I.
Mm-hmm. So we have our guest in here, Miss Tenia McKall. She is an exceptional individual. She is the boss of the boss. She's been running her organization for many years. She's been a subject matter expert in the security field for over 17 years. And I share a personal relationship with her as it relates to security, because we always chit-chatting about the security field. I, too, have a personnel security background, and it's just so interesting about the topics that we are talking about as it relates to the security industry, because it's also a high demand area within this job market, because these are things that government and private industry will always need these individuals to work in this particular area, because with government and security, we just have to vet individuals to make sure that they're suitable and that they have the good characteristics that we need in order to perform work on behalf of the government or to work for the government. So all the counterintelligence and international security, these are all things that are needed because, many times we're faced with many threats. And the U.S., we have to protect our infrastructure, not only the physical part, but also the technology, as Kenyatta would know,
Cybersecurity is pretty much infrastructure protection, network security, application security. So I definitely understand.
Yeah, so these are things that are very vital to the industry, especially in government and private sector. So we are excited to have her in the building. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we return, we're going to be talking with Tenia, and she's going to be talking about her security administration background.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music.
Yeah, that's the sound of today's business community. It's a dog-eat-dog world and only the strong survive. The challenge is navigating the ever-changing business environment to put your business in the forefront. So how does your business keep up with the changes? That's where She's the Boss Network comes in. She's the Boss Network is an internet media network that's been helping businesses like yours get the exposure that you're looking for at reasonable cost by way of radio and video. They'll help you stay successful by navigating change and seeing the big picture. After She's the Boss Network analyzes your business and marketing strategies, you'll start to see a media presence like you've never seen in your business before. And She's the Boss Network doesn't stop there. They use their findings to create a practical plan of action, a plan that will get your business from where you are to where you need to be. There you go. Lock those dogs up for good by giving She's the Boss Network a call at 866-494-5945, extension 101, or by checking their website at she'sthebossradio.com. Again, that's 866-494-5945, extension 101, or she'sthebossradio.com.
Hey, I'm Jenny James for Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner. You've probably been home a lot more. Maybe you have kids like me who spill all the time, and you've noticed that your carpet's not looking so good. Why don't you call Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner? They use a dry extraction service, so you won't have wet carpet all day long, and you can get back to doing the things you love with your family immediately. And it's a way to make your room healthier while improving your indoor air quality. You can do tile, slate, granite, ceramic, area rugs, and yes, they're pet-friendly too. Why don't you get a free, no-obligation estimate today? NeatlyDoneSanAntonio.com.
Information is power. Learning from active professionals? That's priceless. Functional Training Zone. It's career awareness you can't get in the classroom. Become a trainer. Make a difference. Visit functionaltrainingzone.net.
She's the boss. Radio Network.
All right, now, welcome back to Uncommon Connector, Functional Training Zone's Career Awareness Podcast. We have Miss Tenia McKall in the building, along with her business partner, and we're just going to jump right into this interview and get to know you two a little bit better. So first, we want to know, could you tell us a little bit about the work that you do at Pendleton Solutions?
Absolutely. So as the CEO of Pendleton Solutions, I'm responsible for the overall vision and strategic direction and growth of the company. But aside from that, I am a security professional. So I have a background in multidisciplinary security protection. So anywhere from PERSEC to physical security, industrial security, cybersecurity, pretty much wearing a lot of different hats and being somewhat of a consulting to organizations and like government organizations, as well as a mentor to security professionals.
That's great. That's good.
So how long have you been in this industry?
For about 17 years now. Started out in 2005. And I didn't start out in the security field. I was actually an administrative assistant, which really helped me a lot. Being detail oriented, that's one of the qualities that you should have as a security professional. So as an admin, it just taught me so much, and I just accidentally got into security.
Yeah, I started out in admin as well. And it's of course different from answering phones, chit-chatting with emails. It's a lot more that goes into security. Absolutely. So yes, those are some good soft skills. Just being able to be detail oriented, and just being able to what would I say? I would say detail oriented, attention to details always. Being able to focus, and just take good notes, get all the details that you need about whatever it is, whether it's physical or personnel security.
You don't want to drop the ball.
You don't, because they're all interrelated to each other. Like, you kind of can't do one without the other. So that's why, I always say, like, you need to be able to, one, protect the physical part of the government, which is in the physical security, and then you also need to protect the infrastructure of the government. So that's when you get into the industrial and the cyber security part of this field. So what kind of drew you to this field? Because I know you say you started off as admin, but what inspired you to want to get into security field?
Having mentors in the space. So when I was an admin, I was partnered with a security manager. And at the time, she was doing a build out of a secure facility. And I'm like, what is she doing? I mean, she just seemed so knowledgeable in the area and so passionate about security. So it was that passion that really drew me to security, and just understanding why it is we're doing what we're doing. Having that background knowledge really gave me a sense of purpose. Like, things that we take for granted, being U.S. citizens, like we can literally get up and walk out. I mean, we have other things to worry about being people of color, but freedom isn't free.
Right.
So there's people that's behind the scenes that is working hard to keep us protected. So that is definitely what drew me to the field.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it also, what drew me in too, is just the understandings of why I do what I do. Once you understand why you do what you do, then it's easy to do it. And the passion behind doing it comes into play, because it's like, you have a purpose, and your purpose is to not just do your job, but to think about the best interests of everyone in this country. Because so many things are happening, whether it's somebody coming into a facility trying to shoot up the facility, and most of the time it's internal threats, because it's
that's
people
the biggest
that
factor.
you see. You see them every day, and you would never think that this person will come back disgruntled, and it's like something happens. But with this field, you never know what's going to happen, but you just take the appropriate steps to understand this person, their background, where they come from, and hopefully prevent instances from happening.
Yes. Absolutely.
So, I know you said you started as an admin. But what training, specific training? 'Cause for me, I'm on the technical side of it. So for me, it's more like security, cybersecurity related to application security, network security. So what specific training did you do?
I had lots of on-the-job training.
Okay.
And I also did some courses on CDSC.
Okay.
And most recently, I took the Security Fundamentals certification, and I studied cybersecurity as well. Okay. So both of my degrees are in cybersecurity. So my bachelor's and my master's. Nice. So I'll just say lots of on-the-job training. Big advocate for that. Yeah. And I was lucky enough to have mentors that kind of showed me the ropes. And I had a boss who wanted me to see all of security, not just one element of it. So he exposed me to so much. And even the operational side to kind of see, okay, this is what happens on the back end, and this is why you do what you do. Yeah. And I'm still learning, and I'm still growing.
Yeah,
and I'm still pursuing certifications. One of the ones that I'm most interested in is the CISSP. So you probably know all about that.
Yeah, this is a lot of experience does come with on-the-job training, because you can go to these trainings and they can give you different scenarios, but no case is the same.
Yep.
Every case is different, and you have a different type of person that you may come across. So I agree. The best experience is that on-job, and then you just applying the on-the-job to what you learn in the classroom. Right. So what do you think was most valuable for you? Was it like your education along with your on-the-job experience?
I say a bit of both.
A bit of both? Okay.
And the reason why I say educate, I'm an advocate for education. There's some things that I could not get from on-the-job training that I got from going to school. I mean, learning to structure papers and to write is a big part of what we do in security. Even, when doing the PERSEC, you mentioned personnel security, you have to write, you have to be able to, investigate and be able to write reports and things like that. So school has taught me a lot about just putting information together, collecting data, and just being an overall good professional. So I would say it's a balance of both, education and on-the-job training. Right. But there's also some things that I learned on the job that I couldn't get from going to school either. Right. So that's invaluable.
So a good balance.
Yes, a good balance of both. Yes, absolutely.
So, are you more on the policy side, or is it a combination?
I would say it's a combination of both. And it wasn't always like that. Like I started out from an admin, being paired with the security manager, I got exposed to a lot of different elements of security. Policy, yes, that's the ground, the foundation, understanding what certain regulations are and what they mean and what regulations applies to what. So policy and technical, so both, a balance of both. Because from a physical security aspect, you have to understand how to read blueprints, drawings, and, what goes into building a room to make it soundproof. So you have to understand the different soundproofing elements, and from the cybersecurity element, how to accredit a system, how to get understanding the RMF, the risk management framework, going through continuous evaluation. So it's been a bit of both. So policy and both technical.
Yeah, I would ask you, how has this industry changed since you first got into it? Because it's changing a lot.
It's changing
everything is changing. Like, we're going through this whole new phase of new security levels, when it comes to background investigations. I'm like, okay, so it's something else I gotta learn.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So
we
has
see
it changed?
policy is changing a lot. Definitely the way that we do background investigations, the different tiers.
Yes.
I think they're starting to streamline things because it costs money to do these background investigations.
It's the cost of doing business.
Right. So I've seen,
levels, right?
yes, it's different levels.
Yes.
Yep, different tiers, different background investigations. But I've seen policy change. I mean, the government is a little slow with that sometimes, but definitely with COVID, there's a new environment. We see it when we're hiring new employees. People don't really want to come into work anymore. Yeah. So now with the remote work, we have a different threat landscape. Things that we have to worry about. It increases the insider threat.
Yes, and transferring of information
yes,
nowadays.
Absolutely.
That's I would say, like, for me, when I was in an office pre-COVID, we had a lot of paper stuff. Everything was paper, everything was files. But now we completely transitioned over to electronic. So now you have to protect PII and all that information from being transmitted through technology. So that's another component that we have to learn to protect and everything.
Protecting the network, VPN, because over VPN it's harder to scan those devices and make sure that they're who they say they are.
Yes, absolutely.
So, how would you say that has affected your position?
Like you said, there's so many things that you have to consider as a security manager, and information protection is one of them. So understanding what the regulation says, understanding how the organization works, and having processes and procedures in place. That's in training. Education and awareness is huge, because anytime you're dealing with human beings, people are prone to make mistakes.
Oh, yes. Every year we have to take training as it pertains to security. So, I'm like, here we go again.
Yep, being constantly aware and talking to people too. A lot of times, security professionals want to come across as intimidating, or I'm in charge of protecting this or that. But when you let your guards down and communicate with people, you begin to build that trust, and people want to tell you, okay, I accidentally brought my phone in here, or you lose that trust when you're
I left my PIV card in a computer, and someone accessed the system.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, you did you? Oh, okay. Yeah, it is once, because a lot of times everybody thinks security is just being nosy, and it's not really about being nosy. I'm like, it's what you sign up for when you work for the government. It's like, well, here's my life, here's what I'm doing. So yeah, just read about it, make your own conclusion about it. And a lot of times people contact me, they like, well, why do I need this done? I'm like, I'm asking you the same question, because not only do you have to do it, I have to do it too. And you know,
we're all in this together.
The level of security that is required, like you said, the different tiers, the more access you have to information, the higher your clearance has to be. So whether it's top secret, SCI, or whatever, you have to give a little bit more of yourself.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, what it is that they're asking from you, because your level is a little lower than mine, you're good. You know, they're not getting into your business like when you get to the top secret and secret level. So that's one thing I want to let my listeners know. Be mindful of what you do in your private life.
Absolutely,
because
that
if
matters.
you ever consider a career in security, you just want to think about those things. Think about your decisions that you're making on a day-to-day, because you know, we do look into those things because we want to look for the best candidate who has characteristics that are good for the government, because we have the government's best interests.
Absolutely.
Just consider those things. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with Miss Tenia and her business associate. So when we come back, y'all be listening, because we got some good stuff for you.
Yes, we do.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music.
Information is power. Learning from active professionals? That's priceless. Functional Training Zone. It's career awareness you can't get in the classroom. Become a trainer. Make a difference. Visit functionaltrainingzone.net.
Beauty's in the eye. We complicate things when all along it's just perfect as it is. Beauty is from within. It's how you feel, not as how others see you. Skincare shouldn't be complicated. She's the Boss believes skincare should be nurturing, easy to use, smell delicious, feel refreshing, and look incredible. She's the Boss Cosmetics and Skincare brings you our botanical-based skincare line that's gentle, uncomplicated, and extremely effective for men, women, and youth. Feel confident and radiate a power glow that flows from the inside out. Exude an assurance that extends from the home into the conference room. Visit us at www.shes-the-boss.com or call us at 866-494-5945 to get yours today.
Hey, I'm Jenny James for Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner. You've probably been home a lot more. Maybe you have kids like me who spill all the time, and you've noticed that your carpet's not looking so good. Why don't you call Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner? They use a dry extraction service, so you won't have wet carpet all day long, and you can get back to doing the things you love with your family immediately. And it's a way to make your room healthier while improving your indoor air quality. You can do tile, slate, granite, ceramic, area rugs, and yes, they're pet friendly too. Why don't you get a free, no obligation estimate today? NeatlyDoneSanAntonio.com.
She's the boss. Radio Network.
All right, welcome back to Uncommon Connector, Functional Training Zone's Career Awareness Podcast. We are talking with Ms. Tenia McKall and about your background in security administration. So just tell us a little bit, what are the pros and cons of this field?
I definitely say the pros are just doing something fulfilling, something purposeful that helps all of us here in the U.S. and as the world as well. So I've been involved in some global security projects that helps us all. Some of the cons, definitely not everyone values security. So dealing with that, especially when it's in leadership, not having the supportive leadership could be difficult at a government organization, for example. So that can definitely be a con.
Right, I agree with you on that one. So what skills should people have outside of just education? What other soft skills, hard skills should they have for this particular field?
Teamwork, because most of the time in security, you're going to be working with a team. Communication, like I said, being able to communicate clearly and effectively. Critical thinking is important. Being able to problem solve and work through a solution, because sometimes you don't get the same thing every day. With security. There's going to be things that you really need to think through.
I totally agree with you. Those are some of the things that are important. Is just like you said, teamwork, because you need each other in order to accomplish the bigger and greater goal of everything.
Absolutely.
What would you say has been your biggest success?
Taking risk.
Taking risk.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Why would you
Not
say
being
that?
afraid. I supported a Fortune 500 company for 8 years, and I was doing ComSec. Not sure if you guys are familiar with that, communication security. And I was in charge of all the communication security devices. And I noticed that my colleagues, like the engineers and analysts around me, they were traveling overseas, and they would talk to me about it. They would go and do these 6-month deployments. And I'm like, I wonder if I could do that. So I went online, on the internal job site, and I saw a position in Qatar, in the Middle East. I applied for it, and within 2 weeks, Tamika will tell you.
2 days.
I took the job in the Middle East, and I was supporting the armed forces, the operational. Remember, I was saying that, you can go into these office spaces and do security here locally in the U.S., but going overseas and going basically where, the war fighter is, that's a different element of security. So taking that risk and going out there and seeing, okay, why do we do what we do was the biggest risk I've taken in my career. Yeah. And it led me to so many opportunities.
Good.
So for our listeners who are entrepreneurs and everything, tell us a little bit about your journey in entrepreneurship.
Yes. Okay. So while I was overseas, I actually thought about, hey, I want to do this. I want to be a consultant. I came back home, and Tamika and I, we've been best friends for over 20 years now. And she's a human resources and organizational development SME. So I would often consult with her about building a business, and then we're like, hey, let's partner. So one of the things that I did was started to do the research about doing business. It's one thing to say, hey, I want a company, but to actually run a company is a different story.
Right. Yes.
So I did my homework first, and I brought it up from the ground up. And being an employee, I provided value to my employer, and I had an opportunity to partner with my employer.
Right.
And I became like a subcontractor to them.
Okay.
So with doing that, it definitely taught me a lot. And I'm in service to people. So if you don't want to serve people, I'd say don't be an entrepreneur.
Right. That's true.
So how do you maintain work-life balance?
I have none. Definitely a workaholic. I love to work. I love to serve. But I've recently incorporated wellness into my life. So working out, trying to work out at least 4 to 5 days per week. And definitely my spiritual journey, just having God in my life.
Right.
So that's a big balance.
Yes, health and wellness, I agree, is very important, especially with remote jobs. Sometimes we just at home and we're just chilling in our PJs and relaxing. And sometimes it's not always good for the mental health just to be cooped up. Sitting in front of a computer and things,
absolutely.
and just to get out, get physical.
I'm still learning.
Do some walking.
It's definitely a journey because 1 week I have it all together. The next week I'm all over the place.
And
then I get back on.
With you on that. It's tough. It's tough. Like sometimes I have a toddler in the background yelling.
Ooh,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? While I'm trying to be in a meeting, and I'm like, oh my God, can y'all excuse me for a moment? I got to get over here. So yeah, it's tough, but you just have to have that balance. And understand the importance of what you're doing, but also how important life outside of work is.
Absolutely.
You got to be able to have time for yourself, because if not, then like I was saying with our last person that was on here, they can easily replace you.
Oh, yes. Everyone is replaceable.
Yes. So unless you're a good employee, if you are valuable to an organization, they should and would do everything to keep you. So you want to definitely make yourself marketable out here and make yourself valuable to the organization, but also understand that you bring something to the table as well. So how we asked you your work-life balance. So now, could you tell us a little bit about what the industry looks like global security in the future? I know it's ever changing, but what does it look like in the future? Because some of our listeners, they're young adults, so anything can change in the next 5 to 10 years. So what do you think that looks like, security in the near future or 10 years, 20 years from now?
We talked about information protection. I think that is going to be the biggest concern with everything transitioning to the cloud. So cloud computing and security around application security, that is going to be big. It's big right now, even bigger in the future as different organizations start to transition to the cloud. The government tends to be behind the power curve.
Right.
But there's a lot of commercial organizations, a lot of small businesses who have converted their information to the cloud. So the threat landscape will continue to increase, which will need more security professionals.
Yes, this is a very high demand industry. It's like the government and private industry is always going to need to employ individuals in this field. So that's something that I want my listeners to note. Like, this is a high demand.
Absolutely.
Job.
So many different directions you can go in.
So many. As you can see, we talking about personnel, physical, cybersecurity, intelligence.
Small beginnings. If you get an admin job that's doing a little bit of security, take the job and learn about it and show value to your organization. Let them know that you want to learn more.
Yeah.
I started off as a AutoCAD tech, and when that contract ended, the company that came in needed people to break down server rooms. That's how I got into IT.
Love it.
Wow.
Being eager and motivated and having a can-do attitude.
Yeah, so I've always worked on the government side of security, and you all have experience with the contractor side.
Yes,
so
industry.
How is it different? How is that industry different? I mean, you're working and you're providing services on behalf of the government, but how is it different? Because our listeners should know, working on the government side is one thing, but it's also, you can be a contractor and you can be your own individual. So how is that like?
It's definitely different, and it depends on what organization you're supporting, because some organizations make you feel like, oh, you're a contractor, so it's them versus us mentality. But then you'll get with a government organization that's, hey, all inclusive, and we're all one team, and we all make this happen. And I think it's just the balance of both. It's different. It is definitely different, government contracting. But I'm a part of an organization where there is no difference. They don't look at me, and they look at me as the same. And sometimes I have to make decisions on behalf of the government.
Right.
So I don't see it as any.
I have the same experience.
No difference.
We're as one big family.
Yep.
So I've heard
We all
stories,
need each other.
but I'm
Yes.
fortunate. Not experienced.
Yeah, I've heard stories too, and I'm fortunate as well. Because like I said, we need each other in this, because as we're one big team,
Yes,
No
absolutely.
one man can do it on their own. So we're going to take another quick break, and we're going to come back with Tenia. So make sure you return to the show. All right.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music.
Information is power. Learning from active professionals? That's priceless. Functional Training Zone. It's career awareness you can't get in the classroom. Become a trainer. Make a difference. Visit functionaltrainingzone.net.
Beauty's in the eye. We complicate things when all along it's just perfect as it is. Beauty is from within. It's how you feel, not as how others see you. Skincare shouldn't be complicated. She's the Boss believes skincare should be nurturing, easy to use, smell delicious, feel refreshing, and look incredible. She's the Boss Cosmetics and Skincare brings you our botanical-based skincare line that's gentle, uncomplicated, and extremely effective for men, women, and youth. Feel confident and radiate a power glow that flows from the inside out. Exude an assurance that extends from the home into the conference room. Visit us at www.shes-the-boss.com or call us at 866-494-5945 to get yours today.
She's the boss. Radio Network.
All right. Welcome back to Uncommon Connector, Functional Training Zone's Career Awareness Podcast. We are talking with Tenia McKall, cybersecurity administrator. Tenia, are you a part of any professional organizations? Like, are you a member of any security related or outside industries related to security mentorships?
So I'm a part of the Society of Industrial Security Professionals, NCMS, and industrial security. You mentioned the difference, government security versus industry. So this organization caters to the industrial security side, specifically for security professionals who are working with government contracting organizations, so facility security officers. A lot of them are a part of this organization, and you get internal training and newsletters and
I got to
networking.
look into that.
Yes, you definitely should look into that.
I am. You got to share
I'll share
that
the
with
information
me.
with you. Absolutely, I'll definitely do that.
So, is there like a quote, a person, or maybe a book that kind of motivates you as a day-to-day, not just working for the government, but just overall as an entrepreneur? Like, what is something that motivates you?
I have several quotes. I've been lately reading Brene Brown's books. She talks a lot about vulnerability. And one of the quotes she introduced, I've heard it before, but it just like really stuck with me, by Thomas Jefferson. And it's about the man in the arena. And it goes like, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena.
That's deep. Yeah, that's deep.
And it humbles you too. Like, you can't judge a person unless you're actually doing what they're doing. Right. And you're in the arena with them.
Right. I totally agree.
Another one is do not despise small beginnings.
Facts.
Yeah. Like, don't be afraid to start off, in a lower position.
Right. Because, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, started from the bottom.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And I think being an entrepreneur also, like, you're going to be hit with so many waves, right? You're going to have your highs and then you'll have your lows. But depending on, like, what your source is, you're going to remember, like, even when those waves come that knock you down, like, the plan is still to prosper you, right? This contract fell through. This opportunity fell through. But the goal remains the same.
Or this person fell through.
Or this person. When you're hiring people, like, just to remember, like, okay, keep your head in the game, right? And don't get your head out, and to know, like, okay, my plans is to prosper you and give you a hope, a future of hope. And so, like, always remember, like, okay, this is just a bad season. It's not permanent. Because as an entrepreneur, you're going to experience every aspect of the highs and the lows. But you still have to remember, like, what's your vision, like, for your business? Like, it's not going to always be good.
Right.
It's not.
Exactly.
You have to remember the end goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, can you think of any long-term career opportunities? Like nothing that's something that you can start off in and say, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Oh, absolutely. With security, it's just so many areas and direction you can go into.
Because like even like with personnel security, you can start off like as a security assistant and work your way up to a security specialist.
Yes, absolutely.
Or you know, even leadership positions that are
security
available.
manager.
Yeah.
That's a long-term career field. Being able to be over an organization's security program. The government has lots of programs, a lot that I can't talk about here, but there's so many different areas you can go into.
In cybersecurity, I know, again, application security, network security, infrastructure, MFDs.
Yes.
Like it's so many things you can do. So I can imagine in your field, it's probably even more.
Yes. I talked about earlier the operational side of security and global security. You could go be a part of programs where you support the U.S.'s foreign partners and you help them with their security programs. There's just so much.
It is. It's bigger than.
Yes.
Yeah. You know. So what are your next career steps? I mean, I know you're still young, so you have a long road ahead
I have
of you.
probably 30 more years in the game.
What are some of your short-term career goals, like 5 to 10 years? Like, what do you?
Oh, definitely.
What does that look like?
Continuing to grow the company. We are at 25 employees now, so getting more contracts and being in service to government organizations and private industry as well. And what's funny is I'm full-time working for my company, but I don't see myself slowing down.
Right.
I want to continue to mentor and consult and help people out, help the younger generation, the next generation of security professionals.
That's where it's the next level of security starts with our younger
Absolutely.
generation. So the more we can give them, the better off.
Absolutely. Yes, exactly. The more protection we'll have as a nation. And like I said, we take that for granted, being able to just get up and go and not have to cover.
Yeah.
Because we have to worry about a bomb or something.
Yes, that is really important stuff that we got from Tenia today. Like, I hope that our listeners gain some valuable information. So, Tenia, how can the listeners connect with you on your social media? Do you have any social media or your
I'm
website?
definitely on LinkedIn. First name and last name. So is the company, Pendleton Solutions, but our website is www.pensec, so PENSEC, solutions with an S.com. And we have a lot of career opportunities too.
Yes.
So talent pool. So definitely if anyone's interested, like join our talent pool. We pull from it often. We go in. You may not be a fit today, but you may be a fit tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a great way to stay connected with us.
And we will really, we'll put it out there. We would really love just for you to even consider maybe teaching a course to the youth, you know, for Functional Training Zone, because we need more people to
absolutely
join our team.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So we will keep you in mind.
Okay.
So thank you all again for tuning into Uncommon Connector. I hope you all enjoyed this show, because I know I did. And I gained some good information, and I hope you all did too, from Miss Tenia McKall and Miss Tamika Cambridge. So I want you all to connect with us so you can get all the latest update, the latest scoop from Functional Training Zone, because we always have something going on. So we want to keep you involved. We're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Remember, establish your plan, write your plan out, and have a conversation with someone about your plan. Implement your plan. All right? I am Kia B, along with my co-host, Kenyatta. Your dreams can come true if you see your dreams through. Y'all tune in next week. All right, y'all.
It's your boy JR dropping them beats.